What's going on, people? It's your boy Shill Nye. Welcome to the new episode of Netflix and Shill. I'm here with the co-host Captain Coingy,
What's up, guys?
Crypto Orangutan,
Hello, hello, everybody.
and the boy Crypto Verso.
What's up, peeps?
And today we're super stoked, super excited to have Mr. John Mcafee on the podcast. So, John, how are you feeling about the current state of the market? Obviously we just saw Bitcoin have a little bit of a drop. We know you got some bullish predictions. How you feeling about the market right now, though?
Well, I don't care about short-term ups and downs. I mean, if Bitcoin dropped to 50 cents, I wouldn't be concerned. I'm serious. If you look at Bitcoin's growth and the growth of the market overall, year by year, it is consistent upwards. People should check the prices once a year, and they'd be much happier.
Totally. I can't agree anymore. So I'm guessing you're not a big believer in technical analysis or anything like that, or at least you don't follow it.
No, absolutely. I mean, all that is nonsense based on the premises. If you believe them or you don't believe them, it's simply the more users you have, the more widespread the vendors that take Bitcoin or other coins, the more it will grow. That's simply a fact of
Cool.
All right. John, you obviously work in a security field. Do you believe that privacy tokens have a future in crypto? And if yes, what are the privacy tokens that you are really interested in right now?
I think privacy tokens are the future of cryptocurrency. I mean, seriously, what is the most valuable thing in financial transactions? Is it not privacy? Do you want people looking over your shoulder, knowing exactly what you purchase, when you purchase it? People can get into your wallet and see how much money is in the wallet and where the money is transferred to. No, I don't think people want this. I think that privacy and security are the two most important things in cryptocurrency. Beyond that, I think the utility tokens, which have not yet turned into utilities. I mean, I've worked with a number of ICOs that had spectacular utility promise, and people immediately start buying and selling as an investment. And I think that's a tragedy. We're missing out on so much that could improve our society, or anywhere from entertainment to finance to you name it. I think that will change. I think eventually people will see that these utility tokens are, in fact, extremely valuable. Not for the financial value, but for the utility value.
Yeah. Are there any privacy tokens that you're currently interested in right now?
Well, obviously Monero, that seems to be gone to the dark web. It's hard to buy anything in the ship. Bitcoin Private, I think Bitcoin Private has promise. Verge, the privacy aspect of Verge is questionable, but perhaps things will change. But for now, I think Monero is king. I want people to say.
How do you feel about Bitcoin Cash, the supposedly Satoshi's true vision? There is a lot of noise around it in the whole crypto for some time right now.
Every time I open my mouth about Bitcoin Cash, I get 5,000 trolls that come onto my Twitter page and slam me. I'm reluctant to even. But seriously, I was mining. I was one of the largest Bitcoin miners when all of this hubbub came about. I think it is the easiest and simplest solution to the transaction processing. Increase the block size. What's wrong with that?
Do you think it'll ever overtake Bitcoin?
Yeah, I can't say. Here's the issue. Bitcoin is kind of like grandfather. I think ultimately Bitcoin will be the equivalent of $4. Simply buy Bitcoin, stash them away, believing that this will be something of everlasting value. It's a psychological thing more than anything else. As to Bitcoin Cash overtaking it, it's hard to say. I mean, there are many other things that might overtake Bitcoin, Litecoin, any number of things. The ICOs that are coming out today or tomorrow that might have such profound impact that they become king. We don't know. But Bitcoin will be with us always.
Are you an active investor in ICOs? Like, do you look up for all new ones ICOs that are coming up, or is it something like in this market state that you're not interested in yet?
There are a few ICOs that have been, that have come out in the past 6 months that we were unaware of. I think we have had every white paper of the ICO, and we've gone through them. As an active investor, obviously those that I advise and work with, ICOs at the very beginning do not have much cash. That's why they're doing an ICO, but they have lots of tokens. So as far as token ownership, if you want to call that investment, yes, we have quite a bit.
Fair enough. So, is there any specific recent news or information that has caught your eye? I know there's been a lot of Korea FUD happening today, but is there anything, important, maybe long term, that's really been interesting for you?
Well, I'm aware of the activities of the SEC, and I think that their decisions and their actions are going to have a huge impact in the cryptocurrency area. Almost all of the ICOs that we have worked with have been subpoenaed by the SEC. And here's the bizarre nature of this: that the overwhelming majority are non-American companies that they issue subpoenas from America. That's a degree of arrogance that I think is unheard of in any other country. And I'm sure, in my name, it's on most of these subpoenas asking about my involvement and so on. I'm pretty certain there's a subpoena headed my way soon. But yes, the SEC and federal regulations are going to have a profound impact until we get to the point that we are completely unmoved by legislation. For example, once we get purely, completely distributed exchanges, so there is no central server, there is no central office. You can't walk downtown and shut the electricity off and shut down the exchange. When we have that, when we have privacy coins like Monero that people are using in a widespread fashion, then does it matter? I mean, countries make laws that simply cannot be enforced, and they do this over and over. In the 1930s here in America, they passed a prohibition law prohibiting the possession or use of alcohol. We drank more alcohol during that period than in any other period of American history. Today, marijuana is illegal in most of the states, and I see people smoking it openly on the streets. So why? Because it is impossible to enforce such laws. You need too many enforcers, and so people just ignore them. And the same thing will happen with cryptocurrency. Pass a law saying you may not use cryptocurrency. Well, do you think that's going to stop people if they may use it, and the government cannot find out who you are and what you are doing? So, but in the short term, the impact is going to be psychological. People are selling, thinking, "Oh my God, crypto is going to crash." But no, just hang in there. Be brave. Pardon?
So you do believe then, long term, even if governments don't accept it, that crypto and Bitcoin will thrive?
Well, here's the issue: if governments are powerless to stop it, then of course it will thrive.
Right. Many people would consider you quite a controversial character in the crypto space. How do you feel about the reputation you've gathered over the years? And what is one thing that you think people have really misunderstood about John Mcafee?
Well, quite frankly, it matters little to what people think of me. I'm really not interested in correcting false opinions. Let people believe as they wish. But here's a fundamental fact: there is no such thing as bad publicity. I've answered one of my major trolls last week that said, I hate you. I go, well, you hate me. I'd never answered it before. I said, you hate me because you never listened. You listened to everyone else. After a series of direct messages on Twitter, he admitted that, when I got an email from you, so my heart was pounding. I said I was thrilled. I was like you're my greatest. I'm your greatest fan. So it's a contradictory thing. People hate me. People like me. It goes back and forth. The fact that I am controversial guarantees that people will listen to me one way or the other.
Yeah. And since we are talking about controversy, I think a lot of fans and people would like to hear the answer to this one. If, let's say, this would happen, that Bitcoin wouldn't reach the 1 million by 2020, how would you approach the fulfilling your bet you made some time ago?
Well, I don't delve into impossibility. It is impossible for me to lose that bet. I'm just saying that. So, if there were any chance whatsoever, I'd be happy to answer that question, but it simply can't happen. I will lose this one.
Fair enough. I
Yeah.
respect the certainty there. Absolutely.
Is your wife at all worried about it, or is she?
Not in the least. My wife has been in it for 5.5 years. And the gentleman sitting around this table with me can verify that I have never lost a bet. And this will not be my first.
Well said.
Badass.
I
Cool.
think we're all on your side, so.
You were saying a few minutes ago about that guy that was constantly DMing you. You probably receive a lot of DMs. Is there one like particularly funny one or outrageous one that stands out most to you that you'd like to share?
They're all kind of funny. I mean, they fall into two categories: people who want to work for me for free. I mean, I get 2 or 3 a day. Please, I want to come work with you. I'll camp in New York. In fact, I just hired a gentleman, Daniel. I just tweeted about him today. Who came here and said, okay, so you're going to work for me for free. I'm not going to pay you, but you can live here. And he showed up 2 weeks later. He's been working here and a total gem. So I thought maybe I'd pay him, $200 a month for a while and see if he's serious. But in all sincerity, I could probably run the world's largest company and not have to pay my employees. So that's one half. The other half is people who hate me. They're going to kill me. They know where I live. Sometimes I respond if they don't know where I live. I said, I want to find you. I said, just don't bother. I live at this address right here. Here's my phone number. Making your life easy. But people who threaten to come to your house and kill you are not going to do that. Because if you're going to do that, you're not going to say anything to them, right?
With those guns.
So basically, they fall into 2 extreme categories. There's never someone who says, I don't feel one way or the other about you. It's one or the other.
Yeah. So you think you either love you or hate you?
Right, and I think 80% hate, 20% love.
Yeah.
So a good follow-up question to that is, is there any time that your security team or anything else is, actually, had to do their job? Have there been any real threats?
Well, it depends what a real threat is. Definitely, my team is off the alert. They do sense danger. They've seen danger. I've actually seen. Well, Jimmy's an ex-Navy SEAL. By the way, listeners, do not ever mess with Navy SEALs. You want to mess with someone that's not going to bother you too much, doing a Green Beret or an Army Ranger or something. Don't mess with things. So I've seen Jimmy's hit bombs, people that approach too suddenly. On the blockchain cruise in Asia, sitting across from me, and some largish Russian gentleman came up. Jimmy stood up, put his arm out. I guess the gentleman must have felt the steel beneath the skin. He literally backed up, bowed, put his hands together, and apologized. So I have serious security. I have, I think, 6 full-time security, all ex-military people. And definitely, we definitely have danger, absolutely.
Yeah. Have you, an interesting question would be, have you ever bought or made a big investment with crypto? I saw that you recently bought a house in Dominica, right? Do you buy like most of your stuff with crypto, or how does it work?
Well, I buy almost everything with crypto. Now, here's the question with crypto. I bought an SUV and a fairly large, expensive motorhome by totally a lot of money. Neither of which ever showed up. The gentleman who was a legitimate car dealer decided to take Bitcoin. When I paid him 350 grand, thought, I tell you what, I'm going to roll this into some alt currencies and make a fortune. But unfortunately, he lost it. It took how many months, guys, to find that out? 4 months. 4 months. These things never showed up until finally he confessed. So it's a very, very new field of buying things with crypto. It's a very easy field to scam people They don't have to go through banks, lawyers, and what have you, but will provide some degree of protection. But yeah, I buy whatever I can. We bought a mule with crypto 2 weeks ago in Jackson, Tennessee.
So do you see any solutions to, this, while it is, private and super easy and convenient, this trustless factor can be a problem with some of the scamming. So do you see any, solutions to that right now?
Absolutely. Take responsibility for yourself. It's fun. I can't count the number of people. So people come on with my photograph and everything on Twitter pretending to be me. And they give away, send me a tenth of a Bitcoin and I'll send you one Bitcoin. What idiot believes stuff like that? And yet people come and says, you didn't send it to me. You're responsible. Listen, I'm not responsible for you. You're responsible. So yeah, just take responsibility for yourself and realize that there is risk everywhere and tread with caution. You should do this with every area of your life, not just with cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. So, you got a big security team. Do any of them trade crypto or any of them into crypto at all?
Yes, they're all serious into crypto. Yes, they are.
Were they before you hired them, or did you make them interested in crypto?
No, before I hired them. If you do not give your security something to do, while bullets are not, then bad stuff happens. They start thinking, this is old. We could get rid of him ourselves. Assume his identity, find out his password, and to be him. Who would ever know? So I'm joking now. So Jimmy's sitting next to me, and he's not smiling.
So we were talking about the SEC before. If you could stand in front of the head of the SEC, what would you say to them?
I've stood for them before under different situations.
Let's say off the record.
I would be polite. What can you do with authority? You certainly can't talk them into sanity. You simply can't explain yourself in a way that they will see you differently because they see you as a system structured to see you. So ignore, don't try to change, don't try to suck up, be yourself, and ignore them as best you can.
And before you said a lot of subpoenas had your name on. Do you ever truly worry about it when you go to sleep? Do you worry one day someone's going to come knocking down your door and take everything you have?
I would not advise anybody come knocking and
It's a warning to the SEC.
At this table, I'm wearing a sign on Jimmy's website. Everybody in this house is armed. And at night, we have security up all night. We have 21 security cameras. We have every weapon known to man. And the military security know every tactic. No, anybody who breaks into the house is an idiot. As to breaking into my wallet, that's already happened.
So you don't worry about it then?
I don't worry about them breaking in. No, I don't. I worry about those instances where my security team in its entirety disappears suddenly. Actually, that's only happened a couple of times, but and there's always one left, and I'm always feeling sorry for the one left. I think, good God, something's coming down in a few minutes.
You said you had them.
I'm in a room. I have these solid steel doors that roll down and close off both the outside and the inside entrance of my bedroom. Inside the bedroom are weapons that can't be described. My favorites are short-barreled semi-automatic shotguns. I'm not too worried.
Sounds like a good position to be in. So, what is the worst investment you'd ever say you made? Is there any just absolutely horrendous project that something turned out completely unexpected? Is there anything?
I don't know what the worst investment is, but my entire team is the unhappiest about Tron. Well, no, hang on. Luke just showed us sign, but I'm not going to mention that name because the other coins SS group, will come and do something terrible. Tron. So yeah, Jimmy just have a circle with Tron and a line going through it. So But there are no bad investments. An investment is a bad investment if you're not willing to hang on to it for a long term. And if you think that the investment is good for sound reasons, and those reasons are still valid, then just hang on to the sucker.
Fair enough.
That makes sense. So yeah, I'm super big into tattoos as well. I got a bunch of tattoos.
I'm not against. I'm all against tattoos. I think they're tools of the devil. But
I know you got a bunch of tattoos. You got any crazy stories behind your tattoos?
Well, not crazy stories. I have a number of women's names tattooed on me. One while I was getting tattooed with my wife. That I had never met before. They were really sitting in the tattoo parlor, and I'd say, "What is your name, sweetheart?" Darcy. So I had Darcy's name tattooed.
Which one's your favorite, and why? Why is it your favorite?
I think it's the one on my sternum, which is also the most painful. I had it tattooed after an outrageous argument with my wife, and so I went and had this tattoo of a scorpion. It says, "Don't fuck with my wife." That's for me. I look in the mirror, I
go.
That's hilarious. I love that.
Do you have any crypto tattoos?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any crypto tattoos with any, a Bitcoin tattoo? Or...
Not yet. I intend to get some as soon as the coin comes out.
Nice. Nice.
Awesome.
So hacks are pretty common now in crypto. They're extremely common in crypto. Have you got any security tips for people that are worried about the safety of their crypto assets, the average person, and then people that have been in for a few months?
That is a really tough question. Number one, people who store their coins on exchanges, it boggles my mind, because who are these people? And if I am a group of hackers, who am I going to target? Joe Smith in Pocatello, Idaho, or Coinbase, or one of the other exchanges? Good God, I think that's a terrible idea. So that would be the worst thing. Number two, a soft wallet on your cell phone or computer or what have you. I've been hacked twice. Okay, both with Ethereum, and an offline hard wallet is absolutely the best. I started out using Trezor. What are you using? KeepKey. KeepKey appears to be the most popular. I'm not getting paid by them, although I should be. Let's call them afterwards. Send them forward. So anyway, I think KeepKey is probably the best. Anything that does not have a screen on it, why bother? Because if you've ever visited a pornography site, I guarantee you have keystroke monitors and screen captures on your device. So if your seed keys are displayed on your device, then you're screwed. So you need an offline wallet or a hard wallet that has a small screen on it and not enough memory to load any malware.
Interesting. So you say that if I've ever been to any porn site, so if I go to the top, Pornhub or whatever, I will have a keylogger on my device. Is that?
Absolutely. Let me say, let's say Pornhub, because this is their favorite one. About every 10 clicks, you're going to get something saying you have a virus on the device. Click here to do something, or click there to exit. Doesn't matter what you click. You now have malware on your system, or any number of similar, scheme-like things that make you click something. That click downloads the malware. Here's something. Why don't you try this? Take any Android system. Take your smartphone, Android smartphone, and simply go to Pornhub, open it and close it, and then look at your download unauthorized application flag. It has been sent. End of story. So you got the flag set as soon as you access the site. As soon as you click on any of the videos, then you're screwed. How do you think they make money? I mean, pornography is not exactly a legitimate business, and you cannot expect their methodology to be exactly legitimate. I don't know. My mom and dad taught me two things. That seems to be one that we should all know.
What do you think about when it comes to trading, right? Obviously, the ideal for safety, the ideal place to trade or do anything with crypto is a virtual machine. Would you, out of laptops, right? Let's say someone wanted to start trading with a laptop. Do you recommend more towards a Mac, more towards a Windows PC, or what? Or are they all shit?
Well, you made an assumption by obviously the safest way to trade is. No, I think the safest way to trade is to find some local person with $100 grand in a backpack who meets you somewhere on a bicycle. I've done that. Believe it or not. Just to see what it's like. Well, never have I been screwed in one of those circumstances. I mean, you're sitting there, you have the wallet, you hand over the cash, or you hand over your Bitcoin, and he gives you the cash. I met a guy in California, north of Santa Cruz. In fact, I hired him when I was working at MGT. This was 2 years ago. And I just went on localbitcoin.com. That's what it was. So localbitcoin.com. And I looked for all the people who will meet you somewhere with cash or a wallet and do an exchange. And they have minimums, 10 grand or something. There are lots of these people. So no, there are many options other than going on to an exchange. I'm sorry. But yeah, what is the best device to use? Paper.
Yeah, sure.
You can, but it's all the same. I mean, there is no platform, whether it's Unix or Windows or iOS or Android, that's secure, because all can be hacked. All can be infiltrated. The worst are the ones that are closed, like iOS, because you do not have the facilities to go in and configure it in ways that make it more safe for yourself. And because it is a closed system. Any open system, like Android, provides at least some degree of security. But again, security is left up to you and the way you use the system, not the system that you use. We all want the system to take care of us and protect us. It will not. You have to do it. You have to use your common sense.
Are there any individuals within the crypto space, who people might not have heard of, but you think that people should be listening to them more?
Well, yeah, my two best friends, nobody listens to, Roger Ver and Jihan Wu. Everybody hates Jihan because he's the world's largest miner and he owns the Bitcoin space. Well, I'm sorry. Bitcoin is two things. One of them is a business, and the other is a distributed currency system. Now, the distributed currency system works totally fine. The mining is a business. What do people expect would happen with businesses? Businesses compete. I was a large miner. I competed with everyone. You compete so that you get more money, more customers, more of the pie. So ultimately, there will be 3 or 4 major players. You can't stop that. And people are complaining. Well, then don't make it a business. And it's not. You can have one or the other. So Jihan is slammed and smashed, but he's a very good friend of mine. But don't do that in my presence. I'm much of a coward, but Zoom is always fine. So.
Sure.
And the same thing to Roger Ver. People do not like Roger because he supports unwelcome things. Really, it's the Bitcoin Cash. Basically, that was Jihan and Roger Ver. But what's wrong with that? As he said, you don't like it? Don't use it. You use what you like. Good God, that we have thousands of alternatives for cryptocurrencies.
What do you think about the recent things that people would call that people would say they're trying to rip off the Bitcoin brand, whereas on some of their websites and stuff they call Bitcoin Core, and they've actually put the ticker of Bitcoin Cash or something as BTC. There's been like a few stories like that. What do you think about that?
What does it mean when you say ripping off Bitcoin? Who is Bitcoin? Where is their corporation located?
Sure.
What address do I serve them? Which one actually patented or copyrighted the name Bitcoin? Good God, I don't understand what that means. So listen, it's a free for all. This is a free market economy. Um, use your common sense again. Keep up with what's happening. If you don't like what the people who've stolen the name are doing, don't do business with them. If you do like it, then don't fault them for taking the name. I don't understand what it means to rip off the Bitcoin brand. Who owns that brand? If you're a Bitcoin user, do you care what happens to that brand? I mean, it's no, and there is no brand owner. There is no Bitcoin Incorporated in downtown New York City on Fifth Avenue. No, what are you ripping off? I don't understand.
Fair enough.
Do you think that you'll ever create your own cryptocurrency?
I'm sorry?
Do you think that you'll ever create your own cryptocurrency?
I'm doing so very soon.
Can you give us a bit of inside info, or to people listening, maybe what it's going to be, or?
I'm doing something totally unique in the crypto world, and when you see it, you'll understand.
We will keep our eyes out.
Will there be an ICO?
No, stop.
I wanted to ask, because you work as an advisor for a few of the projects, for example, Hacken or Lux, could you give us more details in what department did you help those projects? What was your role exactly as advisor for them?
Well, I'll be really frank with you. In many cases, it's absolutely nothing at all other than they want to use my name. They don't want advice. They just want to say, Mcafee. Well, I'll sell my name to all that. If you're manufacturing shoelaces and you want Mcafee shoelaces, sure, we can negotiate. I've spent 72 years building the name, and it has some value. But quite frankly, that's much of it. The others, the advice is so darn simple. People don't understand. I'm an ICO. What should I do? Well, it's not what should you do. It's what should you not do. First and foremost, you should not give dividends. You should not give people any money based on what the coin is doing, because that's a guarantee that the SEC is going to step in and do some bad stuff. Pricing, pricing is a psychological affair. Pricing, you do the price first, and then you figure out how many coins you need. For example, in the mid 50s, someone discovered that if you take a $10 device, whatever it is, device, service, product, and you try selling it at $10, but you reduce the price by 1 penny, you will sell 5 times as many of them. Now, the product is not that much cheaper, is it? Yeah, now it's a deal. It's a penny less. No. The psychology in the mind goes, oh, that's only a 3-digit price. It's going to be 4-digit price.
Right.
So if you look at the successful ICOs, the ones that converge on 15 cents are the most successful.
So would you say that advisors are overall a little bit overrated when it comes to ICOs? Like people shouldn't put so much importance to them?
Advisors are ruthless. They're totally overrated. Someone should just write a manual with 3 pages saying, do this, do this, do this, do this, and that's it.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Well, I think that for the most part wraps up the questions that we have. So.
Okay, but we have not finished yet. I have my own question.
Oh, absolutely.
Of you. So you wanted to have a session with me. Why?
Well, you are one of the most influential people in the crypto space.
Who said that? Who said that, and how do you know that?
So I'm Captain Coinergy. I say that because of your Twitter following and some of the visceral reactions that we've seen to some of the things that you've tweeted. I think all of us can say that we're very deeply ingrained within the online crypto community. And some of the things that you've done, there's been ripples throughout the entire space. And so
not many names provoke as many emotions as yours.
Even if it's like my following is because I use the word fuck a lot. I promise to eat my dick if Bitcoin doesn't hit $1 million. I'm outrageous. Is that actually influential? Is that?
Absolutely, that's completely influential. People like to listen to that. You have your marketing absolutely down. People listen to what you say. and that makes you influential. No matter how you gain that influence, you said any publicity is good publicity, and you're good at getting yourself publicity, so you're influential.
And the last question I have for you is, why are you doing what you do? Why did you choose this avenue of work, play, love to exercise your talents?
Well, for me, this isn't all I do. I go to university too. Do you mean about the podcast or crypto in general?
Podcast.
Oh, the podcast, honestly, because and the reason, the answer to your other question, I'm just interested in understanding and listening to other people. And that's especially why it was cool to get you on, because you're definitely different to the average normal person. So it was just really, I don't know, I guess you could say I'm intrigued in you and learning more about you and asking questions maybe other people haven't asked.
I'll even add to that, John. The reason I do the podcast is I really like these guys. I like chatting with these four guys. It's interesting to hear all of their perspectives. We have different ideas and different perspectives, and we kind of bounce ideas off of each other, as well as our guests. And I think the simplest answer is I have fun with it. I do this
it's fun. We don't get paid, or there's no money behind it. It's just fun.
Yeah, and besides that,
if you love what you do, I promise you the money will come. And I'd like to make one offer to your audience now. You see all of these scams where say, send me a tenth of a Bitcoin and I'll send you 1 Bitcoin. I'm really annoyed at the minimal amounts they're going to send back. Send me 1 Bitcoin, I'll send you 10,000 Bitcoins in return. All right? I am upping the ante. Try to match that. Any of you out there, any of these scammers, match that offer. So, interested, please email me or...
They just have to find your Bitcoin address. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us, answer some of our questions. I think that we all appreciate it very much. I'm sure that everyone who listens to this will find it very interesting.
I'd also like to quickly say thanks to Janice. I know I've been annoying you. Sorry for annoying you the last 2 weeks. I appreciate it a lot.
He likes to be annoyed. But
I knew because you tweeted something about if you want to get to me and you're smart, the smartest way to contact me is through my wife. So I took note and it worked.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, John.